is over.
That music can only mean one thing, and what it means is that we are live. So welcome, everybody. We are doing our AEW Fyter Fest preview tonight, and thank you all for joining us, and I hope you are having a great day. And as always, my co-host Jeff is here with me, and we are going to go through night one of Fyter Fest, and all of the matches that will be on night one today. And then next week we will go over night two. We're going to give our predictions, and we're also going to have you guys kind of chime in and let us know what you think as well. So let me give – well, first of all, Jeff, man, how are you doing today, buddy?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right. It's
long time no talk.
Yeah. Might have been a few hours. We just got done doing an interview earlier. Very cool with Marie Shadows. And that interview is going to premiere next Wednesday. Of course, tomorrow we have the premiere of DJ B. Tazzy's interview at 6 o'clock. And then, of course, our normal podcast will be at 10:15, as always, with Gary Cassidy as well. So, and of course, Q&A from you guys. So let's get this show on the road, shall we? Let me shout out some people that are here with us. KJ Carter, how are you today? The Happy Pug Queen, welcome and hello, everybody. Rusty Shackelford is here. Hey, Rusty, how are you, man? Who else do we have? Jody. Hey, Jody, how are you? Jake, we have Jake as well. Welcome to you. Chris is here. Welcome, Chris. Jason Pete, shout out to you, sir. Days Fan, hello to you. And Sunny Wolf, hi, how are you tonight? Hope you are doing well. Let me see. Eric Haberman, hey Eric, how are you? And Sports Madness. So we got some people in with us. Thank you for joining us tonight. I know it's a little bit of a weird time, a little bit of a different thing, but we have Fyter Fest coming up tomorrow. So we wanted to come out and do this as kind of a little bit of a different thing. They're doing a little, almost like a pay-per-view, kind of a 2-week thing with AEW. Also, we know that NXT is doing the Great American Bash tomorrow as well. So kind of get Jeff's thoughts on that a little bit later. I want to kind of throw a little bit of controversy out there with the Great American Bash thing as well. So we're never the same if we don't have a little bit of controversy going on. So let's start with our night one matches, shall we? And let's start with let's go with the tag team match. Let's go with Private Party versus Santana and Ortiz. So let's start with that match. Obviously, the tag team division in AEW is strong. They have a lot of very, very good tag teams and have since they have started up. So I'm going to get Jeff. Jeff, I'm going to go to you first. What are your thoughts on this match, and what do you think we're going to see here? Obviously, the X factor here is Private Party has Matt Hardy in their corner. Matt is, obviously we're talking about the 3 or 4 faces of Bray. Well, man, how many faces does Matt have? I think he's up to 5 now.
I lost count. I really did lose count with Matt. Yeah. But I love him so.
Yeah, Matt's great. Who do you got with this one? What do you think is going to any surprises you think might come out of this one, and who do you think is going to win the tag team match?
Well, I mean, I expect to see some good stuff. I know a lot of people. Well, I won't say a lot, but some people kind of get on Santana and Ortiz. I really like them. I think they're great in the ring. I think they're hilarious. But honestly, when you've got Matt Hardy on your side, I don't think you can go wrong with that. I think Matt has been really pushing these guys, and I can see a big win for Private Party. I think it's their time to kind of start moving up the tag team ranks in AEW and possibly challenge for the championship at some point pretty soon. But I like Private Party in this one.
Yeah, it's I was kind of leaning towards Santana and Ortiz, and only because they haven't seen a win in a while. Of course, they lost
Right.
at the pay-per-view, and they haven't really seen a big win for themselves in a while. But yeah, I don't know, the X factor of Matt Hardy being there. I mean, you always have to wonder. Now, the other thing we have to wonder about this is, of course, Santana and Ortiz. Are with Jericho's faction as well. So, does Jericho show up? Hager, does he show up? They always seem to have everybody get involved with them. So, yeah, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. But yes, I agree with you. I think it's going to be a good match. Might be one of the better matches on the card. But I do think I agree with you. I think Private Party is going to get the win in this one. And I think there's going to be a lot of Matt Hardy involvement in this because we know that Matt Hardy has been going against these guys for quite some time now since he's been in. And we know he wants to take those guys down. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Private Party.
I think too, the inner circle is going to have their hands full a little bit because Jericho's going to be on commentary tomorrow night, and I'm actually looking forward to that. Anytime he's on commentary, I'm there. I'm actually most times what I do is I watch AEW later, but I'm watching this live, and I'm gonna DVR NXT because I'm really excited about Fyter Fest.
Yeah. As am I. I think it's cool. Like I said, 2 weeks in a row with top quality matches, championships on the line. So, yeah, absolutely. And I'm excited about this as well. Let me take a look. Who else do we got? Jordan Ludwig, that from Facebook. Hello to you. How are you this evening? Eric says, I like the different faces of Matt Hardy. Yes, we do too. Jake says, I don't see Private Party losing after losing to Best Friends. Yeah, that's a good point. John says he's DVRing Fyter Fest, and after Great American Bash, he'll watch it. Yeah, everybody likes what they like. What else? Monica King, welcome to you, Monica. How are you? See Wrestling says good morning. Yeah, I would imagine it's getting close to morning in England. How are you? Nice to see you, sir. Who else? Do we have anybody else new here? Yeah. Okay, so I think I'm caught up there. Yeah, so I would agree. I think Private Party is going to get this one. I do think they're going to win, and I think Matt Hardy is going to have some kind of involvement in this match. So if this match does start off the show, it's a heck of a way to start the show, and it may very well do that. We've got another tag team match as well. Now, this one is interesting. We've got MJF and Wardlow going up against Jurassic Express, Luchasaurus, and Jungle Boy. Now, we saw Wardlow and Luchasaurus square off, and that was crazy, absolutely crazy. Luchasaurus did a swan dive off the stage. We saw a kick from Luchasaurus that knocked Wardlow clean off the. And look, Jungle. This is a really crazy match because Jungle Boy is really getting a big push. And MJF, again, probably one of the biggest heels in the business and also in AEW. So this is a hard one to call. I'm gonna say I'm going with Jurassic Express in this one, and I think Jungle Boy is getting a big push. I think he's going to go over in this tag team match, and we may see something going down with Wardlow, maybe. Usually when the two heels team up, that never ends up staying for very long as they usually kind of have some infighting, who's better than the other, egos clash, and then the two guys kind of go at it with each other. So something to maybe watch out for here. It might make a difference here, but I'm going with Jurassic Express. Again, I think Jungle Boy's being kind of fast-tracked. Again, we saw him against Cody for the WCW title, and he had a very good match with Cody as well. So I really think that he's getting a big push, and I think it's going to be Jurassic Express. What about you, man?
See, we got to go behind the scenes a little bit. MJF, as he does very well, has been doing a lot of trash talking on Twitter. Leading up to this, saying some things about Luchasaurus, and He posted a meme today calling Jungle Boy a bootlicker.
Oh,
Jake, forgive Joe. It's late, and he meant the TNT Championship.
TNT. Yeah, sorry.
Listen. The unfinished belt just makes you think about old times. So
it does.
We'll just leave it at that. But no, he's been talking a lot of junk, on Twitter, and people love to hate MJF, and he's whenever you get someone who is that hated, it means he's doing his job. So shout out to him for that. But I really think that what's going on with Jungle Boy right now, I can't see Jurassic Express losing. I wouldn't be surprised if something weird happens with the finish, but I think Jurassic Express is going to go over here, and I honestly think it's going to be a great match. I mean, we said that about the first one with Private Party and Santana and Ortiz, but I think all of these matches are outstanding, but I do think that Jurassic Express picks up the win here.
Yeah, I would have to agree. And again, their tag team division is just incredible in AEW. It really is.
Yeah.
You get these guys together, and they are just fantastic. And a lot of these matches are killer matches. Some of these, when they're on, the regular show weekly, these matches go a while. They go to the time limit a lot of times, and I'm looking forward to this one as well. Let's see what everybody is saying here. MJF, I love him, says Killer Sasuke. Yes, a lot of people do. He's the heel you love to hate. Rusty says, yes, Luchasaurus will prevail. Chris says, I picked Jurassic Express. Yeah, Jake's laughing at me because I said WCW. Again, it's late. C Wrestling says, how old is Jungle Boy because it's WCW title? Yeah, he looks good for his age.
He does.
Plus, if MJF loses, it's not singles action, Chris says.
Yeah. That's a great point. That's a great point because you don't want basically your top heel in the company to take a pin, and I get that. I don't see him taking the pin. But I agree with that. It's not a loss in singles action, so I don't think it hurts them if they lose.
Yeah. Going back to the old, when you had Diesel with Shawn Michaels, when you have a guys teamed up like that, well, that one guy, if they team up together, you have the guy that's always going to take the pin for the other guy, and that other guy is the one who, So yeah, it's not going to matter if Wardlow does get pinned. It doesn't hurt MJF one bit. So. Some people talking about Moxley. Sonny Will says it depends on Moxley's health. Yeah, we don't really know what's going on there. We do know that I think that match off the card, Jeff, or is it still on Moxley?
I don't think it is, but it's scheduled for night 2. So
yeah, next week.
No,
so maybe
I think yeah.
So maybe they're playing it by ear. Yeah. Could be just playing it by ear just to see. Jake said they're monitoring it, and the match could be in front of no audience. Okay, and that would make sense.
Yeah.
Cato Jackson, welcome. Did you hear the club signed with Impact? I did not hear that. No, I did not hear that.
Yes. Our boy, shout out to Gary Cassidy. He broke the news yesterday, and Dave Meltzer confirmed that today that Gallows and Anderson will be going to Impact. So that is confirmed. So
very cool. I was watching Impact last week. I wonder if that had anything to do with D'Lo Brown with the Aces and H jacket.
I mean, Gallows used to be in Aces and H. So
yes, he was.
It's a possibility.
Might be getting a little bit of Aces and Eights action back in Impact. So that's awesome. Let's see. Rusty says, spoiler alert, Joe will turn heel. I don't know, man. I don't know if I have it in me tonight, Rusty. I don't know if I have it in me. Oh, man. Joe's on some medication, so I don't know if I have it in me tonight. They have until the 8th to film the match. Yeah. So we'll see what happens, obviously, with Moxley going forward, and we'll see what happens with Mr. Moxley on next week's show. So let's go to now. We have 3 championships on the line on night 1 as well. Night 2, of course, would be only 1 championship, and that would be if Moxley faces Brian Cage. So let's go to the first of these championships, and let's go to that beautiful belt, that WCW championship. Let's go to Cody versus Jake Hager. Jeff, start this one out.
Oh man, okay. Maybe I'm turning heel tonight. I don't know. And I'll probably get a little heat for this, but it's fine. I'm gonna preface this by saying I really like Cody. I think he's very talented. Having said that, I'm not really invested very much in this match because Jake Hager. That's all Jake Hager. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Listen, I think Cody wins. I don't think it's time for them to take the belt off of Cody just yet. Rusty says a belt made from recycled aluminum garbage cans. Possibly.
If you look at the side of the belt with the red, it kind of looks like an old Budweiser or Schlitz can. So yeah,
it really does. Yeah, it really does.
Good call.
and yes, Jake, I agree with that. I mean, Cody shouldn't be pushing himself. I agree with that. I don't think Hager is the guy to put the belt on. I think that's going to be someone like Jungle Boy or someone else. I don't see Jake Hager winning this one, and to be quite honest with you, this may be a bathroom break match for me. Because I'm just not invested. But yeah, give me Cody for the win. And anytime you've got the enforcer, Double A himself, Arn Anderson, I'm not gonna go against that. And listen, here's a little impromptu sell or no sell.
Uh-oh.
Cody Rhodes bleeds during the match tomorrow night. I'm selling that all day long because he's going to bleed.
We were just talking about that with Marie when we interviewed her earlier. Cody has a tendency to lose blood in almost every match that he's in. You know what? I can't. Yeah, I have to agree. It happens all the time. No matter what he hits, his head gets busted open somehow. So yes, very good chance we're going to see Cody bleed in this match. Very, very good chance. Listen, I can't pick Hager either. Look, he came in as an enforcer. And he came in as the guy who is the muscle, and he's kind of in the, he's in the group there, and he is kind of the guy that just beats up people and stuff like that. But you know what? He hasn't done anything really. I mean, he had that one match against Moxley and he lost. I can't see Cody dropping the belt to Hager. If he's not going to drop the belt to, again, like you said, Jungle Boy or somebody that's kind of on the rise, I really don't see him dropping that belt to Hager because Hager is not the guy that they're going to give a push to. Not now, and I can't see that either. I think that Cody wins, unfortunately, I think that if there is a stinker on the card, I think that this might be the one. Funny Wolf says I agree with Jeff. Cody bleeds in every match. Rusty says Cody would bleed in a pillow fight.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't bled walking to the ring for his entrance yet. I mean, honestly.
Oh man, never say never, man. Never say never.
That's true.
V9 Gaming HD says, imagine if this goes on in the main event with having Sasha Banks versus Io Shirai in the main event on NXT as well. I'm going to laugh.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
This should not be anywhere near a main event. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree. They should just add the 24/7 stipulation so Arn Anderson can win it. Yeah, man, I don't know. How prestigious is this thing? I was listening a little bit earlier. I was on Busted Open earlier today, and they actually had Cody Rhodes on the show. It was an interesting interview. If you don't listen, you can go and listen to their podcast. It was kind of funny because Dave LaGreca on that show has been banned from AEW for life, pretty much. So he was on talking to Cody, and it was Cody's birthday this morning. Or today. So they were chatting about that. And the one question that Bubba Ray put to him was actually really interesting. Bubba Ray had mentioned something about the stretching of the rules in AEW and how, like, they're not really, they don't really follow the rules very much. You don't see like 10 counts. You don't see people getting counted out of the ring. He said, and he asked him pretty directly about it. Cody kind of avoided the question a little bit. And kind of said that they're relying on FTR to be the guys that come in and kind of show everybody how it's done. That was kind of the answer that he brought. So, yeah, I don't know. It was an interesting interview. Go ahead and listen to it if you enjoy. Obviously, if you enjoy AEW and you want to hear Cody Rhodes' take on things, it was a good little interview. So check that out if you get a chance. It was good to hear. But yeah, I don't know, man. Cody, let's see. Killer Sasuke said Cody should be pushing people and not himself. But I understand trying to make the title prestigious. Yeah. I would agree. I
get that.
Good shout. I would agree. Sonny Wolf said Cody trips down entrance ramp and bleeds. Yeah, it doesn't take much to open that skull up, does it? Yeah.
Listen, he's a lot like his dad in that regard. Because man, Dusty would bleed. Oh my goodness, Dusty would bleed. It was ridiculous, man.
He did. Maybe he got that thin skin from his dad, man. There wasn't many matches that went by that Dusty Rhodes didn't have the crimson mask.
That's true.
Yeah. So there you go. Maybe it's genetics.
Yeah.
Maybe it's genetics.
Those Rhodes men love to get color in those matches. That's for sure.
Yes, they do. And they both have that shiny blonde hair that shows it real well too.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Killer Sasuke says, "We the people." Oh man, yeah. I don't know. What did Jericho say when he mentioned that? Oh, bad
stupid
decision by
idea from Bad Creative. Yeah.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. So yeah, I think we're.
And you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about that is as dumb as that was, they got it over.
Yeah,
it was so over.
That's true. It was. That is very true. Very true. So, yeah, I think we're in agreement here. If you're going to take a bathroom break, you're going to make some popcorn or something during the show, this may be the match to go ahead and do that during. So, Rusty says, someone just took a photo of Cody. Quick, someone bring him a Band-Aid. Rusty's on point tonight, man. Rusty's on point.
Yes.
Eric said Renee Young post make a big announcement tomorrow. Yeah, there's a big announcement coming from Renee. I think it might have something to do with Talking Smack, especially since her other show got it's all but canceled, right? Still out there, obviously, maybe, but yeah, it might be all but canceled. But there are rumors that it could be Talking Smack that she's coming to make an announcement about tomorrow. So we'll see. Hopefully, look, the main thing is I hope she makes an announcement saying she's feeling well. Obviously, right. That's what I want to hear. So that would be great news. Chris says Flair would bleed all the time too. Yeah.
Very true.
There was a lot of bleeding back then. If you guys ever looked at old wrestling magazines, the covers of those things were filled with pictures of wrestlers that are covered in blood. Was a big
listen. Just go look at Abdullah the Butcher. Look at his forehead.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Blading for days, man. Blading for days.
Yeah, man. Yes. Yep. Yes, sir. All right, so we've got 2 championships left. Let's go to the World Tag Team Championship, and that is the Elite, obviously, Kenny Omega and Adam Page versus Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent. So Best Friends are on a roll. They've been doing really, really well. Of course, they have Orange Cassidy in their corner most times when he's not messing around with Jericho and getting beat up by oranges. So we'll see. He should be in their corner tomorrow night, I would imagine. And Omega and Hangman Page, they've had the titles for a while. But this one is, you always have that story in the back of your mind. When is Hangman Page going to turn? When is he going to turn? This has been a long, long story, right? And you always kind of wonder with Hangman Page, is this the week that he's going to turn on Kenny Omega? So I don't know. I mean, this is a tough one to call. This is a tough one to call. I'm going to go with the champs, and only because of this. It's not a pay-per-view. I still look. And this goes for Great American Bash as well, and any kind of thing they have on TV. I mean, we just went through the Raw that had every title on the line, correct? No title changed on that show except for the 24/7 title, which changes every single day. So, yeah, I don't think any titles are going to change on these shows. I just don't. I don't think they're big enough to do that. And I think they still, regardless of fans being in the building, I think they still are going to go with the fact that, we're not changing titles unless it's a really big show. So I do not think that they're going to change titles tomorrow. I think it's going to be a great match. And, don't get me wrong. I do. We'll see if Orange Cassidy does get involved in any way. But I think I don't think you're going to see any turn from Hangman Page. Not yet. Again, I think that's going to be saved for something bigger. But I think that Omega and Hangman Page retain their titles. What about you, Jeff?
Well, partner, this is where we're going to differ because I think it's time. I not only think it's time for a Hangman Page turn, but I think it's time that we see Kenny Omega in all of his glory in terms of what he can do in singles competition. There's been a lot of criticism out there about, what AEW has done with Kenny Omega, and people are saying, what happened to the old Kenny Omega? I honestly think best friends win this. I think we get that turn, and then I think we get Omega and Page, and it turns into one heck of a feud. I'm all in for that because I definitely want to see these two go at it in singles competition. I want to see Kenny Omega come out with those fire promos and that great those great matches that I know he can put on. And I think it's time for the world to kind of see what Kenny Omega is all about, because honestly, unless you followed New Japan, most people really haven't seen a lot of Kenny Omega. So a lot of people don't really know what he's capable of unless you've gone back and looked at what he's done. But I definitely want to see, this is going to be a great match. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be great. And they're a great team, but I think the best friends pick this up. And to your point about we just saw the Raw that no belts changed. Well, here's the thing. This is AEW. They do things a little bit different, and they don't always go with the status quo. They like to shake things up a little bit, and I think this is where we start to see it.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. They try not to do things exactly like WWE does. I think money kind of talks, though, still. And that's why, I still think that it'll be, we'll see. And you made all great points. I would not mind at all if what you said happened, because we've been waiting for that for a long time. This has been a very slow burn storyline with Hangman Page. And I would not be upset at all if that happened. And also, Kenny Omega, since we've started AEW back in September, he's kind of taken a little bit of a back seat. And I know, there's a lot of people out there saying that he's done that on purpose to try to get, other guys over, let them have their fun and stuff like that. And he was going to be kind of a more behind the scenes type of guy. But yeah, it would be great to see what Kenny Omega is capable of. And I'm sure a feud with Hangman Page would be the way to see that as well. So yeah. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Omega and Page are a fun team. They need to have a match with FTR first before they break up. Yeah. I mean, FTR is also in that discussion as well. I mean, talk about maybe a fast track tag team that's going to end up with those titles sooner than later. Yeah. KJ Carter says, hello, Joe and Jeff, my two favorite persons and guys are my favorite. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, KJ. Appreciate that, buddy.
Thank you.
Let's see what else we have here. Gus says, sorry I'm late. Oh, all good, buddy. No problems at all. Jake says, I feel like best friends are going to be transitional champs for either FTR or Young Bucks, leading to FTR versus Young Bucks at All Out. Yeah. That could certainly be.
I agree.
Certainly be. Good call.
And I think that's why we see the change now. Because I think you've got both of those teams on a collision course, and I think this is the perfect time to take it off of Omega and Page to set that up. No disrespect to the best friends, but if they win it tomorrow night and then in a few weeks we see them lose it, I don't think anybody will be too beat up about that because we know what's coming down the pipe.
Yeah, that's a great call. Chris says, I never saw Omega before AEW. Just heard he's the best in the world. All I could say is I don't see it at all. Well, to be fair, like I said, he's kind of stepped kind of behind the scenes a bit here. He didn't come right out and try to go after any titles or the championship or anything like that yet. So I really don't think we've seen, a lot of what Kenny Omega can do. You get that reputation from doing things. And he, obviously, New Japan and other places where he's been, he has been at the forefront of those promotions. So we'll see. We'll see is all I can say.
Chris, go to YouTube and check out. Just type in Kenny Omega New Japan and thank me later, because the matches that he put on, the promos that he's done, it's just unreal. He is definitely one of the best in the world. I'm not going to say he's the best, but he's definitely one of the best. So if you get a chance, look on YouTube, look up some of his matches in New Japan. I'll tell you another match that was freaking awesome, and this was in Ring of Honor. This was a match with Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson, who we all know as Daniel Bryan, and Tyler Black, who we know as Seth Rollins, in a triple threat match. That match was awesome. So if you want to check out some of the things that he's done, go check that match out because it was fantastic.
I love the dude's entrance music, man. That song fire you up if you're half dead. I absolutely love his entrance theme, man. It's like one of the best. I went out and looked at I think there's a video on YouTube for that too. Amazing song. So it's like listening to like the Rocky IV soundtrack back in the 80s. You just can't help but listen to that and get like fired up when you hear it. Yeah, man. Killer Sasuke says, I don't know, he had a great match with Pac and that hardcore match with Moxley. The Pac match I'll give you. The hardcore match, look, that was just
different.
Yeah, it was
strokes for different folks, man.
Yeah, very different. Yeah. Very different. Yeah, I agree. Very different. But yeah, look, it was two spotlight matches that he has been in. I just think we're going to see a lot more of him coming down the pike. So I mean, we'll see how it goes. Jesse Callan, hello, Jesse. How are you? Hi, everybody. Can't say much because I'm about to drive, but still thought I would come over. Yeah, don't stay on the phone and drive. That's never a good thing. So yes, I agree. We disagreed here. I think they're gonna hang on to the titles. Once again, I think we get teased maybe with a little bit of a heel turn, but I don't think we're going to get it. So we'll see. A lot of you guys agree with Jeff, and you're saying that we do get the heel turn maybe, and that the champs do not retain. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And our last match of night one is the AEW Women's World Championship. That is Hikaru Shida versus Penelope Ford. So, Jeff, man, started out here.
My favorite thing to say, holy Shida.
Yeah.
I love Shida. She's awesome. I've been watching her for a while as well, and I used to watch a lot of her stuff on YouTube, and I think she's great, and I very well deserving of earning the title when she did. I don't think she drops it here. It's just too soon for that, and I do think it's going to be a pretty good match. I'm interested to see if Kip Sabian tries to pull any shenanigans, if he's going to be ringside, but yeah, Shida, oh my goodness, I love her, and I think we get her winning here, and who knows? I mean, maybe the winner between Nyla Rose and whoever she faces next week. Whoever that is, we've got some different things that we think in terms of who that could be. But yeah, I think Shida retains here, and I'm really looking forward to this match. I think I just really think. Yeah, Chris, I agree. Chris says Shida wins. She's the best female wrestler they have right now. Yeah, I agree. She's awesome, and can't say enough about her. And she was the right person to beat Nyla Rose. So yeah, I think Shida retains, and she probably gets. Killer Sasuke says, I think Shida retains. Then Tessa Blanchard attacks her.
Oh boy.
Since we're on that, since you brought it up, I think I wouldn't be surprised if Tessa Blanchard showed up. I really wouldn't be surprised, because I think and listen, you can take the personal stuff that she's dealt with and things that she's been accused of and all of that, and I understand that completely. A lot of it's despicable. If true, but what I'll say is she's a heck of a wrestler, and I think that she would add great value to either place that she signs. I mean, at this point, the rumors are AEW or WWE. Obviously, her father, Tully Blanchard, is in AEW, so we'll see, but yeah, just going back to Shida, I think she retains.
Yeah, I would have to agree. It's a simple matter of whether it's just too early to take the belt off of her, and I think it's been a long time coming. I think she is. A lot of you are saying she's good in that role, and Jeff mentioned that too, and I would agree. I just don't think that it's. I think it's way too early to take it off of her. And again, I'm going to go back to my theory where if she's going to lose a title, it's not going to be on cable TV on a Wednesday night. It's just not going to happen. I don't think so. Anyway, I think Shida retains. It should be a good match. And I'm sure Sabian will interfere at some point. I think somebody in the chat said Sabian's going to get put through a table by Shida.
I'd love to see it.
That would be cool. That would be cool to see. Yeah. Chris said Shida wins. She's the best female wrestler they have right now. Yeah, I would agree. Days Fan says, "How about we talk about Deadpool?" Nope. That's tomorrow. That's tomorrow night. We're gonna get to that. Let's see. I think Shida retains, then Tessa Blanchard attacks her. Yeah, Jeff mentioned Tessa. Look, there's a lot of rumors going around with Tessa. Where is she going to show up? I mean, we'll see. Jake said, I'm pretty sure she has a no-compete clause. Yeah, could very well be.
She doesn't because they terminated her contract, so that automatically removes that non-compete clause. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Jake says either Abaddon or Dark Order. Anna Jay will face Nyla unless it's a big surprise. Well, a big surprise could be Tessa Blanchard without a doubt. I don't know. I mean, they had that kind of as a mystery anyway with Nyla, so I don't know if that would jive because the news on Tessa didn't break until more recently, and they had that kind of up in the air for Nyla, so I don't know if they would have planned that far out. I mean, yeah, maybe, but I don't think they would have planned it that far out. V9 Gaming HD says, I'm really not interested in this women's title match. They don't really give the women any time on the show to showcase their talent. I like Shida, though, great champion. No, I don't know. Look, you can't argue that they don't have quite the women's division that WWE and even Impact have yet, but I think they're getting better. And we're seeing more of the women's matches on the show on a weekly basis. We're seeing people coming in, like just mentioned, Abaddon, Anna Jay. You're seeing people coming into the women's division. So I think they're improving there. I would agree with you. When it started back in September, yes, their women's division was weak. And, a lot of the people that had the whole WWE versus AEW feud going on and, the NXT versus AEW thing going on, that was their biggest argument, saying that, well, the women's division stinks in AEW. And, yeah, at the start, you would have been right. I don't think it's so much the case, though, lately. I think they have improved a lot. And I think having Shida as their champion is a big improvement there. She's going to carry that division, I think, for a little while. And look. Oh boy, look.
It's late.
Yeah, it is. Yes. Abaddon is a cool character. The other people who are coming into the division, I am looking forward to seeing more of. So I think that I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be okay. And listen, we don't know what's going to happen with NWA, right? We don't know. And if they start kind of doing some picking from
Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, man. I mean, Thunder Rosa, Camille,
yes,
Allison Kay. They've got some really good women at NWA. Just saying, man. We already got. We might have Zicky Dice becoming a part of AEW now because he got out of his contract with NWA as well. So, they're going to have some people to pick from, I think, pretty soon. So that could be very, very interesting if that does indeed happen. And there doesn't seem like there's going to be much of a future for NWA. So they could end up getting some people. Rusty says Holiday. Yeah, man.
Yes.
How cool would that be if they got the Twisted Sisters in AEW? I'm all for that. All for that. That would be amazing.
Sign me up. Me up for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Chris says Britt is magic on air. Yeah, Britt Baker. That heel turn that they did for her. I mean, remember when we were all laughing when they had the thing on Jericho's cruise ship, and we were wondering if she was on some kind of drugs or something with that promo that she did? Well, maybe not so much because you know what? It's working out. She is a much better heel, and it's definitely working out. So I agree. I think there's a bright future ahead for the women's division. I really do in AEW. And I'm going to agree with Jeff on this. Again, like I said, I do think Hikaru Shida is going to win this. I think the match should be pretty good, but again, it's too soon to take it off of her. And especially if they do have big plans for some people coming up down the road, whether it be Tessa Blanchard, whether it be, an Abaddon or somebody else, I just think that there's bigger plans that down the road for Hikaru Shida and matches with her. So yeah, that is night one, guys, in a nutshell. So that is happening tomorrow alongside of NXT and the Great American Bash. Let's just chat about the Great American Bash a little bit, shall we? I being a guy who watched the Great American Bash, kind of growing up a lot, I didn't take too kindly to that. I'm not at all happy with that. You want a little controversy from me? Well, here you go. I'm not at all happy with that, with them naming that show the Great American Bash. The Great American Bash was always a big show. always a big show. And of course, Dusty Rhodes was the one who named that show. And again, they were talking about that on Busted Open this morning as well. Cody had said how his father, picked the names for the Great American Bash, for his children, in essence. So
yeah,
I'm not thrilled about it. I don't think, look, if you want to use that name, don't pick a Wednesday out of nowhere and use that name for it. You want to do that, man, at least use it for a pay-per-view. At least show it some respect. I think it deserves a little bit of respect other than just being a show, just in the middle of nowhere, and you're just going to kind of throw that out there because you wanted to compete against Fyter Fest. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that. Listen, like Jeff said, NXT was very good last week. And the triple threat match at the end of the show was very good. But I personally am not going to watch NXT. I'll maybe DVR it, maybe scan through it and stuff. But I'm not a fan of them using that name. They could have held that off for a pay-per-view. So it's a publicity stunt to me, and not into it. Not into it. So what do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm there with you because that, to me anyway, growing up here in the South and following the career of Dusty Rhodes and then Dustin Rhodes when he broke into the business, and that pay-per-view was always synonymous for me with the Rhodes family. Mm-hmm. And I get that, once WWE bought WCW, they did it for a little bit. But honestly, you would love to see people be about more than money in this business and be about the legacies that so many of the pioneers paved. And that was synonymous with WCW and the Rhodes family. But I agree with you in the regard that this should be, for a bigger event, for a pay-per-view.
Yep.
And if NXT wanted to do this, I have no problem with them having the Great American Bash. But again, all of a sudden it came out of nowhere last week, and you can only deduce from that it's because Fyter Fest is going on. So it's competition, and then it's kind of a punch to the ribs, a punch to the gut, kind of, because you're going up against AEW, and one of the VPs of that company just happens to be a Rhodes. So I think it's a little. I don't want to say it's distasteful because I think that goes a little too far, but I think. I just think, I just feel like it should have been done a little bit differently. And yes, Killer Sasuke, I ask that question all the time. Why can't all wrestling come together? I agree, because ultimately this business is about entertaining the fans and telling great stories, and and being able to go out there and perform and compete, and that's a good point too. V9 Gaming, I don't mind it as much because NXT was Dusty's baby, but I much prefer it be a pay-per-view rather than on TV. NXT was Dusty's baby, and I get that. But I really wish that companies. I'm not even going to say companies. I wish WWE wasn't as petty as they are at times. I mean, like certain trademarks and, people not being able to take names and gimmicks certain places. I mean, I get it. Yeah, you're creative, helps come up with it. But, people identify with those characters. So, that, don't even get me started on my soapbox, because I'll get going with what I think about all of that. But that's for another day. But yeah, Joe, I'm right there with you. I really wish that they would do this for a pay-per-view and not just a Wednesday because they're competing with Fyter Fest.
Yeah, yeah, like you said, it came along very suddenly, and you can see the forest through the trees. We all know why they did it, and I just, yeah, I just don't agree. I don't agree with the way that they did it. So yeah, so there you go. I know somebody said heel Joe, says Chris. Nah, that was heel. That was not even. Nah, that wasn't even close. That wasn't even close. Happy Pug Queen, welcome. I'm so tired I can't really see anything. Well, that's not good. You better get some sleep. Rusty says, loving the graphics and pics, Jeff. Great job with that. Yeah, Jeff's really upped his game, man. Jeff spent a lot of time over this past weekend working on the graphics and stuff like that. So, yes, absolutely. All thanks to Jeff for the graphics and the sound and stuff like that. So, absolutely.
Killer Sasuke says, "Listen, I know we're talking about AEW, but I've got to say this real quick. I feel like I say this a lot. R-Truth is a national treasure. I just want to throw that out there. Last night when he called Cedric Alexander Cedric the Entertainer, and then he calls Ricochet Richard O'Shea, I could not stop laughing. I mean, that it was so funny." But I wouldn't mind seeing Ricochet go to AEW or Impact. I wouldn't mind seeing him do that, especially if they don't have any plans for him in WWE. And I feel like they kind of changed plans on him midstream because he was getting a huge push, and then all of a sudden he gets the crap beat out of him by Brock, and then he's falling off the face of the earth, and we barely see him now. But yeah, I mean, listen, R-Truth is a national treasure, and last night that just further proved that the man is a creative genius. He's comedic gold, and yeah, he's just amazing.
Since we're speaking a little bit on last night, man, I'm gonna tell you, I am really, and I am not a Seth Rollins fan, but boy, oh boy, is that man playing this new gimmick.
Oh my God. Oh, yeah.
Incredible. The way that man is running this gimmick, it is absolutely must watch. Must watch. And again, like I said, I am not a Seth fan by any stretch. But I'll tell you, and I've said this. I said this when he was a champion for the longest time last year. That Seth needs to be a heel. I've said that. And I think Roman is the same way. I really do. I think both of these guys need to be heels, and Seth is just killing it, man. Just absolutely. I mean, I think anyone would cheer anybody to come down and just knock him out. No matter who comes down that ring at this point, you're going to cheer them to knock Seth out. And I like I said, I got to say, he is just killing it. Absolutely killing it.
I mean, listen, I know some people are like, they don't really like the whole Messiah thing. And I get that, I understand it. But from a character standpoint, from generating the type of heel he has, and I mean, you want to talk about a masterclass in cutting promos, what he's done over the last few months with the promos that he's cutting. I mean, they just feel so believable. Like when he says the whole thing about the greater good and I'm gonna make you a sacrifice. I mean, it's just so, it brings you in. And I mean, me personally, I sometimes root for the heels, and right now Raw has two of the best heels in the whole wide world on that show.
That's true.
With he and Randy Orton. So I mean, listen, Seth as a heel is just gold, and I hope they never turn him face again. I really hope they continue to evolve this character, and and eventually give him some more disciples. I know we've got Murphy, and I know AOP is hurt right now. I'm not sure. I think I know what happened with Austin Theory, but I really want to see some more guys come and and be a part of that, because what he's doing is just phenomenal right now.
I still think we're getting that Rey Mysterio's. I still think we're getting his son heel turn. I still think that's coming. I don't know when they're going to do it, but I still think that's coming. I really do.
Yeah.
I think they're going to wait to maybe shock people a little bit with that. But I still think that's coming. But yeah, man, I love what Seth is doing with this character. Love it. He, like I said, is just absolutely killing it. And look, guys, one of the things you can think about, we're always saying, a month or so ago, we're saying SmackDown was better. Now we're kind of leaning the other direction. Well, now Raw is better. Why do you think that is? You have, like Jeff said, you have two of the best heels in the game right now, both of them on Raw. Well, I don't think that's a coincidence, because you're tuning in to see, my goodness, they made Big Show part of a storyline. They brought in Big Show, who's been out of wrestling in pretty much every way, shape, or form. This guy hadn't been around for a while, and, it came back. I know he had that match with Drew, but other than that, he's been out of it for a long time. And now he's at the center of a story because he's involved with Randy Orton. So that's insane. Like, that is insane to me, that he could take somebody who's not even been around the business and make him jet to the top of the line is incredible to me. And Seth is right up there. So that's, I think, why you're seeing a turnaround, where you're seeing Raw now is the better show, and Raw is the show that more people are looking at. Because of that fact, they just have two really good, and I mean, SmackDown's got who? Baron Corbin,
Sheamus,
yeah. I mean, yeah, nobody big there. Nobody. I mean, AJ Styles,
AJ.
Yeah, I mean, AJ, I guess, is their biggest heel. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's a great point, and I absolutely love what Seth is doing. So yeah, guys. Well, listen, we just kind of planned to stick around to go over Fyter Fest, and we got into a WWE discussion. So there you go. Anyway, this wasn't going to be any kind of a really long thing, guys. So we appreciate you joining us tonight. This was just a preview for Fyter Fest night 1. I'll preview what we've got coming up later in the week for you guys. So tomorrow at 6 o'clock, we have the interview we did with DJB Tazzy. So join us for that at 6 p.m. tomorrow. And then, of course, we have our podcast tomorrow night at 10:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Gary Cassidy will be along with us. If you guys haven't also, Gary does a stream as well now. He streams for about 45 minutes or so before Raw comes on. So I know a lot of you guys are in Days Stream, but if you want to just pop over and kind of check it out. But Gary does a stream as well, and just kind of answer some questions and that kind of thing. But yeah, so Gary will be on board. We'll talk about all the latest news and the latest goings on in the world of wrestling, and then we got the big Dukaroo in our debate segment. The big Dukaroo is coming tomorrow, and we know that it's going to be Deadpool, right? We've got Deadpool, sell or no sell. You already know the answers, guys. It's just a matter of what argument is going to come, and I'm saving up every bit that I've got. That's why I'm kind of mellow tonight. I'm saving up every bit that I've got for tomorrow night. And man, I think Dave's Van said earlier he's going to be a heel tomorrow. Hey, you guys can all be heels against me. I can take it. I got big shoulders. I can take it. So come at me with your Deadpool arguments, because I have a good one to come with tomorrow night. So we are going to talk some Deadpool tomorrow night during our wrestling stream. Go figure. Who'd ever thought that would be a thing, right? So we have that coming up. And then later in the week, we have a return of Brandy. I know we've been missing hot tags. Some of you asked me about the hot tag segment last week. Unfortunately, Brandy's had some stuff personal things that she kind of had to take care of the last few weeks. She's been out of town, so we will have her back. We are going to do Waylon Mercy with Brandy this week. So we will have that coming for you guys Friday as well. Congratulations last night to the guys who won t-shirts. And like Jeff said, we're going to continue to do that when we get certain amounts of subs. We are now well on our way to 730 already. So that's amazing. We just hit 700. It seemed like just a day or so ago. So that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. We cannot say how much we appreciate it, guys. I know that a lot of you are getting the word out about our show and retweeting things, and we can't thank you enough for doing that. Because again, like I say this all the time, without you guys, we would not be here. Little tidbit of information: if you didn't see it on our Twitter this morning, earlier today, late last night for me, but I put out a video from Jeff's podcast. This is going back to, what was it, Jeff? February, I think?
Yeah, either January or February,
Yeah, early February. So if you want to go on our Twitter page and check that out, it's actually kind of cool. It was the first podcast that Jeff and I did together. Jeff was kind enough to invite me on his podcast that he had going on. And this is us kind of talking about things that we were doing back then. Jeff was doing his show. I had talked about doing my 80s podcast that I was just starting. And I also talked about my Facebook group that is still going on. And we just hit over 1,000 members, I think, not that long ago. So, I don't get there as much, obviously, anymore. But yeah, it was a really fun conversation. And it's, like I said, it's one of the earlier moments of when Jeff and I started to kind of get to know each other. So check that out if you would like. Kind of get some early info on how Jeff and I kind of got started in this whole thing as well. So, guys, that's it. Again, we appreciate you coming for the ride with us tonight and talking a little AEW. And I hope you all will enjoy the show tomorrow, whether it be NXT and the Great American Bash, or whether you watch AEW Fyter Fest. Either way, like Jeff said. Listen, it's all wrestling. It's all entertainment. And let's all kind of just, have fun. No matter which one you go to, enjoy it. Have fun watching some wrestling, and we will talk to you guys tomorrow at 6 with an interview, and then tomorrow night on our podcast. So from Jeff and from myself, guys, we will talk to you all tomorrow night. Take care, everybody, and have a great night.